Thank you for joining us on Asset Television News. I am Eugenia Solomon. First, the headlines. Leaders salute workers, count on resilience on Workers' Day. Federal government presents certificates to proprietors of 11 new universities. ICPC to investigate discrepancy on students' loan disbursement. And now the news in detail. The Director General of the Nigerian Technical Aid Corps, NTAC, Yusuf Buba Yakub, has charged volunteers deployed to Zanzibar City in the Republic of Tanzania to represent Nigeria as technical diplomats during their 2-year stay in the country. Addressing the volunteers, Buba charged them to be good ambassadors of Nigeria and tasked them to change the narratives about Nigeria by serving and filling the gaps in the nation. The former federal lawmaker emphasized that the volunteers' deployment is a demonstration of Nigeria's commitment to sharing its abundant human resources with African, Caribbean, and Pacific countries, and its desire to share its expertise and knowledge with other developing countries in the promotion of the ideals of South-South cooperation.
So today, I want to charge you to see yourselves as ambassadors of this country, going out to Zanzibar, and if you perform very well, you can also occupy a position you will not expect, because it is on record that during the COVID, the chairman of the COVID committee of in Sierra Leone was an NTAC volunteer, and in Nigeria, you remember, it was the secretary to the government.
Also speaking, team lead of the new batch of volunteers, Dr. Paul Cornelius, while pledging not to betray the trust the federal government has placed on their shoulders, he vowed to perform as their predecessors who took over heads of institutions.
And we want to give our word, sir, that we are going to make our country proud. We are going to present our country in good light, as has been done elsewhere, as you mentioned earlier. We wish to extract again that the brotherliness that we have, while we are going through this exercise, we are going to continue with it there in Zanzibar. And by the grace of God, we may have bigger positions that you mentioned earlier here.
Some of the volunteers also pledged not to forsake Nigeria.
So our job there is to help those that are sick, to care for them, and this is it's a very big opportunity for every one of us, and we really appreciate everything that they are doing for us, like Nigeria in general. So we will make sure we do our best and represent our country properly as we are supposed to. Thank you
for this opportunity, and our prayers is that let us do the needful and do as the task required. And for sure, one thing that is non-negotiable is let us be a good ambassador of our country. And this is what we are going to make sure that we keep to it, and to give a good name for our country, Nigeria.
The volunteers who were deployed under the tax scheme are expected to contribute their expertise and skills to the development of the host country, while also promoting Nigeria's interests and values. The Nigerian Technical Aid Corps is an agency of the federal government of Nigeria responsible for providing technical assistance to other developing countries. Since its establishment in 1987, the TAC has deployed over 10,000 volunteers to various countries and multilateral institutions around the world. As the world commemorates May Day, the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has commended Nigerian workers for their productivity, diligence, commitment to duty, and resilience, even in the face of socio-economic challenges. While the former Akwa Ibom governor also promised that under the current administration of President Bola Tinubu and his leadership of the 10th National Assembly, no Nigerian worker would be victimized in the course of their duty. Akpabio, who disclosed this in a statement through his special advisor on media and publicity, Eseme Eyibo, acknowledged the hard work and dedication of Nigerian workers, noting that they have always prioritized the nation above all other considerations. Similarly, the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has commended Nigerian professionals and workers for contributing to the nation's growth. The wife of the president, in her message in commemoration of the Workers' Day, expressed appreciation to all Nigerian workers. The International Workers' Day is an annual celebration held on May 1st to honor the contributions of workers and the labor movement. It's a day set aside in recognition of the hard work and dedication of people across all sectors, from office workers to factory laborers, teachers to truck drivers. While in the same vein, the chairman of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ Federal Capital Territory FCT chapter, Comrade Grace Ike, has praised the hard work and dedication of workers, as she also calls for greater press freedom and better working conditions for journalists. In her May Day message, journalists are the front line because many workers, especially journalists, are facing due to the current economic situation. She echoed this year's theme, reclaiming the civic space in the midst of economic hardship. According to her, Workers' Day is not just a time to honor the value of work, but also a time to recommit self to protecting the civic space where every voice matters, where truth is defended, and where rights are respected.
Journalists are the frontline workers in the quest for truth, justice, and national development. What we're asking for is a better working condition, and that's exactly what the NUJFC have chosen to do. Not just better working conditions to promote ethical journalism, accountability. Accountability not just people we report on, but also within our ranks. So today I'm happy. Look at the number of persons you are seeing here. This is the first of its kind in the NUJFC. And it goes a long way to say it is a new era. We are changing the narrative, but we also want to use this medium to appeal to employers of labor. Please, the welfare of journalists should be top-notch and paramount. We all know what is on board, talking economic reality. Scarcity, skyrocketed commodities. Prices of foodstuff are going high, transportation, accommodation. And then in terms of accommodation, I want to use this medium to appeal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Project Barrister to please come to the aid of the NUJFC. We need a journalist village. Who says journalists cannot go? Let it be the first in the history of the Federal Capital Territory where we have a journalist village for the Nigeria Union of Journalists. It is possible. We are optimistic and we know that the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory will actually come to our aid.
Ike highlighted the tough times Nigerian workers are going through, mentioning the rising cost of living, job insecurity, and limited opportunities. On to education matters now. The federal government has presented operational licenses to 11 newly approved private universities to expand access to quality tertiary education. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, while presenting the licenses to the new private universities in Abuja on Wednesday, he charged them to prioritize research and other science courses, including mathematics. While Alausa said the approval was in line with the Nigerian education sector renewal initiative designed to restore the glory of Nigeria's educational system.
I sincerely urge you to take research very seriously. This should not only be local, but continental and global. These expectations apply even more stringently to private institutions, which must serve as models of academic excellence and innovation. We are therefore charging all private universities especially the new entrants here today, to align with our national priorities of expansive STEM education, STEM with two N, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medical sciences.
Earlier, the Executive Secretary of NUC, Professor Abdullahi Ribadu, while highlighting the growing importance of private universities as complementary partners to public institutions, particularly in catering to Nigeria's youthful population, he noted that since the liberalization of university education in 1999, private universities had significantly expanded the nation's academic landscape.
At the same time, you are expected to establish robust quality assurance mechanisms at all operational levels within your institutions. To further support your development, you are strongly advised to actively forge meaningful collaborative relationships with established universities, both within Nigeria and across the international borders. Higher education thrives when we undertake mutually beneficial partnerships, allowing us to share best practices and learn from what works in diverse contexts. As young universities, the opportunities in this regard are truly endless. And indeed, I honestly implore you to take full advantage of them. Universities are, however, expected to operate within the Commission's policy framework and guidelines for transnational education in the case of international partnerships.
Speaking on behalf of the Proprietor University of Fortune, Igbotako, Ondo State, Senator Jimo Ibrahim, while calling on NUC to remove barriers preventing Nigerian universities from collaborating more actively, with global institutions. He emphasized the urgency and significance of fostering international academic partnership to drive innovation, skills development, and national growth.
But a university that will survive contemporary times needs to collaborate. Many universities abroad are out there. They want to collaborate with us. We need your encouragement. We don't need to be taking foreign exchange outside this country all the time. The universities are there, they want to come here and collaborate with us. We need the kind of collaboration you have with the Minister of Education, because the two of you are same of kind and you are very collaborative. We need that one between the proprietors that sitting down here as well as NUC.
The newly licensed universities are New City University, Ayetoro, Ogun State, Lens University, Ilemona, Kwara State, and Kevin Eze University, Mbowo, Enugu State. Others are Southern Atlantic University,
I sincerely urge you
University
to take
of
research
Fortune,
very seriously.
Ondo State,
This should not only be
University,
local,
Kirun, Osun State,
but continental and global.
Abdulrazak Abubakar
These expectations
University,
apply
Ibadan,
even
Kwara
more
State,
stringently.
University of Communication, Benin, Edo State, Isaac Balami University of Aeronautic and Management, Lagos State, and Eranova University, Kuje FCT. Still on education matters now, a renowned aviator and former national president of aircraft pilots and engineers, Isaac Balami, has vowed that the Isaac Balami University of Aeronautics and Management will transform Nigeria into an aircraft manufacturing hub. Well, the pioneering institution, which was one of the licenses universities on Wednesday, along with 10 others, was described by Balami as a critical step in reviving the nation's once thriving aviation legacy. Balami, who spoke with journalists on the sidelines of the official licensing ceremony, expressed gratitude to President Bola Tinubu for approving the university's license.
So happy, and thanks to the President for approving the Isaac Balami University of Aeronautics and Management. I'm first of all an aviator, the immediate past National President for Aircraft Pilots and Engineers. And having been in the sector for about 20 years, I saw the gap, the need to restore back that good name that we used to have. In those days where Nigerian Airways was the first airline in Africa to land in America with crew. Today, everything has gone bad, so we felt we need to rejig the system back again. The whole idea is to see how we can produce products that will not just build aircraft, but will have certifications from Boeing, Airbus, Gulfstream, Embraer, and so on and so forth. Now, this is not what we intend to do. We've done it already, but at the level of certification level. We want to see how we can take it to the next level where our children, you can imagine your son or daughter at the age of 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, when they are graduating, they don't just have the NUC degree, but they are certified by the aircraft manufacturers. They are also having up to 7,000 to 10,000 hours on a live aircraft in our aircraft hangar, which is in Lagos. And they will also have European and Nigerian, which is the civil aviation license. That is what we need to do to see how we can also begin to export, manpower out of Nigeria like it used to be in the days of Nigerian Airways. So basically, that's what actually inspired this.
While assuring that more than just a degree-granting institution, the university is designed to produce world-class aeronautic professionals, he revealed that students will graduate with dual certificate, not just from the Nigerian Universities Commission, NUC, but also from global aircraft manufacturers such as Boeing, Airbus, Gulfstream.
So happy and
Embraer.
thanks to. Yes, the aim is to. This is an aeronautical university, and by the grace of God, very soon, months or years from now, you will see the first made in Nigerian aircraft by the special grace of God, and it will be built by Nigerian sons and daughters, young youths will do that. And I'm so happy because we even have a professor of aerospace design who, as a professor from Cranfield in the UK, our acting VC, Professor retired AVM Jemitola, he is somebody who have put an aircraft together, took off and landed, and we have such people with so much energy to actually make it happen.
Balami Aeronautical University targets first made in Nigeria aircraft. Let's pause here for a quick breather as a television news will return shortly. You're welcome back from that break. Now, still in the news, Ogun State Governor Dakpo Abiodun has disclosed that President Bola Tinubu would perform the groundbreaking for the establishment of the biggest cotton and polyester processing factory in the world at the special agro-processing zone located at the Gateway International Airport, Ikweru Ilisan area of the state. Speaking while receiving the former Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Medane, the members of the Ikweru Development Association in his office at Oke Musan, Abeokuta on Wednesday, Governor Abiodun said the factory, which is under the Renewed Hope Cotton Resurgent Initiative, would sit on 400 hectares of land and would employ about 250,000 people daily. He said that apart from the cotton industry, the Nigerian Air Force has also indicated interest in siting a base in the town to secure not only the airport but also to provide adequate security to Ikweru and the adjoining towns. Explaining the rationale behind the siting of the airport at Ikweru, Abiodun noted that the town is at the central point of the state, which could be easily accessible from any part of the state, adding that the 100 housing units built by his administration at the airport housing estate would soon be commissioned. While the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has commenced a comprehensive investigation into alleged discrepancies surrounding the disbursement of students' loan under the Nigeria Education Loan Fund. The National Orientation Agency had alleged that certain schools working together with some banks have purposely delayed payments to students who qualified for loans so they could make money off the situation. This was followed by a media report which alleged that some institutions made authorized deduction ranging from 3,500 naira to 30,000 naira from each student's institutional fees receiving through the loan fund. In a statement by the ICPC spokesman, Demola Bakare, the commission stated that its chairman's special task force immediately commenced investigations upon receiving the allegations. He noted that the anti-graft agency preliminary findings revealed that while the federal government had reportedly released 100 billion naira for the scheme, only 28.8 billion naira was disbursed to students, leaving a massive unaccounted sum of 71.2 billion naira. Still in the news, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has debunked news making rounds that it was offering jobs in Nigeria's diplomatic missions abroad. The ministry's spokesperson, Kimiebi Ebienfa, who made this known while addressing the media in Abuja on Wednesday, noted that the scammers were using the names of top officials of the ministry falsely signed by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, then graduated to the scammers sending fake employment letters to unsuspecting Nigerians.
Maybe documents signed by officials from the ministry, which we all know that are fake documents. So by the time the genuine officers will arrive those missions to take up responsibilities, there are sometimes there might be confusion about the genuinity of how we do our recruitment process. So we are not going to be silent about this because the name of the minister is involved, the name of the spokesperson, and these are the two key image makers of the ministry. So definitely we have to do something to address this.
While clarifying that all recruitments into the Foreign Service go through a clear and formal process by the Federal Civil Service Commission, training at the Foreign Service Academy, then eventually deployment abroad, the spokesperson maintained that this recruitment advert did not emanate from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Ebienfa therefore warned that no Nigerian should believe any job offer claiming to be directly from the ministry or pay for a diplomatic passport.
Then we will still try to put out this another disclaimer again on our platforms, our Facebook, Instagram, and X handles to discourage Nigerians from patronizing these scammers that are just bent on making people to part with their hard-earned money. So we'll definitely do that.
Ebienfa clarified that recruitment of foreign service officers is done by the Federal Civil Service Commission and not the ministry. With that story, we end the news. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms for more updates and programs. On behalf of the entire news crew, I am Eugenia Solomon. Thank you for watching.